Have you ever thought to yourself, I should plant that,
Nope.
but I have no idea how?
That I have told myself, yes, 'cause I don't know how. On this week's Growing, Eating, and Educating with NanBop Farm, Director Andrea Bushry shows us how to seed for the spring season. Check it out.
Hey guys, welcome back to Growing, Eating, and Educating. I'm your Farm Director, Andrea Bushry, and today we are here out in the High Tunnel and we're talking about all things seeding. So we are actually in the first week or so of spring, which is high time to start all of your summer crops. So today we're going to learn about how to pack your trays, how to seed and all of that, and I'm going to demo how to seed our tomato plants. So it's important to come up with a plan for your greenhouse, and all of that is based on the information on the back of your seed packet and also various farmers' experiences. The next thing that you want to do is actually talk about your soil. So you want to identify if it's too dry, if it's too wet, if you need to add different nutrients and such to your soil. Here we are going to add a little bit more water to this soil. The goal with this is that we want to have it so that we can almost clump the soil, and when we do that we have almost a drop or so of water coming out of it. That makes it so that when your seed hits the soil it's instantly being hydrated, and also makes it so that you don't have to water your trays as frequently in the beginning. When you're filling your trays, it's really easy to make it a little bit less of an efficient process. You want to make sure that you're packing your cells not too tight, but also not too loose. You want kind of like a Goldilocks effect with it. And so you want to kind of press down all of your soil into the trays a little bit, but you don't want to do it so hard that your seed struggles with sprouting. So a rule that I tend to go with is like a chocolate cake consistency. So when you push down, it feels like a baked chocolate cake, and that's when you know you have the right pack. The other thing to note when you're packing your trays is that you have the outline of your cells. That makes it so that when your plants are growing, they're more susceptible to actually becoming root bound, so that the whole tray is one cohesive unit when you really want to make sure that you're keeping each cell separate. So now that we have our tray packed, we are ready to start seeding. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is putting indents in all of our cells, and that's going to make the seed have a place to go once we place it in our cells. So when I make my indents, I tend to use the pads of my fingers. That creates a little bit wider of a space for your seeds to go in, and it also helps you to control your depth a little bit better when you're using the pads of your fingers versus the tips of your fingers. Now that we've made our indents, we're ready to put the tomato seeds in their holes. So we're doing 2 seeds per cell. So I'm just going to put 2 seeds, and then after we fill the cells with their seeds, we'll come through and add soil on top of it. Now that we have filled our tray with our seeds, we're ready to lightly cover it. Some tips about covering it: you want to make sure that you're lightly sprinkling soil over top and then not pushing the soil on top of the seed too hard, because that will push the seed down farther and it would be a lot less likely to germinate due to being farther in, but also because of it being so compacted. This is just one of our varieties of tomatoes, so we're actually ready to go on to the next variety in our greenhouse plan. And that's kind of what we'll be doing throughout the spring to make sure that we're ready for summer planting. So check us back next week for more at NanBop Farm.
And if you would like to follow Farm Director Andrea Bushry and the locally owned and operated NanBop Farms, they have a Facebook page and Instagram. Just look for @NanBop Farm. NanBop posts frequently all about their events and what's growing right here on the farm. If you'd like to reach out with any questions, comments, concerns about the farm, go ahead and send them an email to info@nanbopfarm.com.